Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody's having a great weekend. We are in the middle of our Mother's Day celebration. You know, Mother's Day in Mexico starts May 10th. Mother's Day in the United States is on this second Sunday. So, however long between May 10th and that Mother's Day Sunday here in the United States, it's a party. And the mothers in my family feel that it should be a celebration from May 10th until whenever that day is. So we're in the middle of that celebration, but it's a lot of fun. And I feel it's worth it. So, you know, that's kind of hurt the time that I had doing recaps and stuff like that. But that's what trading is all about for me. You know, it's not about doing recaps and stuff. It's about having that opportunity and that time to spend and share with family and truly honor those people who make a difference in our lives. So to me, that's what it's all about. But what I want to share with you for this week, this is really, really close to my heart. You know, there's a guy here, a young man here in Colombia, and I've been following his career since he was a kid in high school, because he went to high school with my sister. I kind of hoped he would, come in my program, but, I knew he was further along than anything that I was able to teach the kids coming in. So, but I followed him, and, he came up through all of the ranks. Back in high school, he was running the Legends cars up at Charlotte, and then he got in the late model. But to make a long story short, a couple years ago, he had to sell his late model car. And if you're a race car driver, selling your car is probably the hardest thing, if not one of the hardest things you'll ever have to do. Because that's like ripping your heart out of your chest. And he had got to the point where he was broke. He had to he had to sell it. That was the responsible thing to do. And this young man has so much character, that never die, never give up spirit inside of him. He kept going and got into the NASCAR Truck Series. He drove for somebody one year. It's a lower budget team. To stay in it, he would have to borrow trucks or lease trucks or whatever. Never really had his own equipment. And this year, his never give up spirit and a testament to his character, where he just kept going. He was able to put together a group of people who helped him start his own team. So he has his own team, his own trucks, has a garage to work on his trucks. Everything is consistent. And yeah, it's still a smaller budget team, but he has better equipment than he's ever had. And, when you first start a team, there's a lot of work and a lot of things that go along with it. Now, he has some good running trucks, but last week he was at Dover and was racing pretty good. And, a truck 2 or 3 laps behind him wrecked him, trying to race him. It makes absolutely no sense. But for a small team like this, they had one truck for, some specific tracks. That took that truck out. And that was a truck they were taking to Kansas this weekend. Well, they drove all the way back, and they had a truck. This truck here that you see was sitting there. It was nowhere near ready. And they worked all week and just spent a lot of time trying to get this truck together. And here, we're going through the progression here. Throughout the week, they worked hard, day in and day out, to get this truck ready. And, you can see they really put in the work. They did what it took. They had that never give up spirit. And so here they are yesterday at Kansas, they are ready for qualifying. You know, this is that same truck that was sitting on jack stands. And, you know, that team is incredible. So anytime you want to be inspired, you know, you need to follow this guy. If you're into racing, you need to follow this story, follow his plight. Because, you know, it reminds me of that quote that Sylvester Stallone said in his last movie. You know, it ain't about how hard you can hit, but it's about how hard you can get hit and move forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. You know, that's how winning is done. And for this team to make it to the track and qualify was a win. That was a win for this team. But they got out there and they had, I know they probably could have finished in the top 10, if not the top 15 last night. But they had a oil line come loose where they had to come in and fix it. And, you know, got some laps down, but they finished the race. You know, Jordan said he had to go out and finish the race because his team worked so hard all week for them to get there. And they went out there and they finished. That was a win. That is a true test of their character and their desire to succeed. And for me, when I see that, it reminds me of the struggles that I have in my trading and the struggles that we all have in our trading. You know, we're going to get hit in the gut. Things are going to catch us when we don't expect it. Things are going to happen to us. But are we going to fold up and quit? Are we going to ball up in a corner and cry? Or are we going to continue on? And don't get me wrong, it's not about throwing money after money after money, losing it in the market. You know, if you're not consistent in the simulator, you shouldn't be trading real money anyway. So, you know, there's no excuse for you not to quit if this is what you want to do. You know, so I see this young man continue to take these hits. And he keeps going. He comes out stronger and faster. They have one of the fastest trucks at this track that they've ever had, if not the fastest on this type of track. And that is very, very encouraging. They didn't get the finish they wanted. Just like a lot of times we don't get the finish in the trade that we want. But that's not going to make us quit. You know, we're going to learn from it. We're going to figure out, well, what do we need to do the next time to keep this from happening that's going to prevent me from, you know, doing what we need to do to be successful. And that's what this is all about. So their motto this year, you know, it's right here on this helmet. Head held high. You know, no matter what happens, no matter what lumps they take, no matter how many punches in the gut they get, they're going to keep their head held high and they're going to move on to the next one. So they're going to be back home here in Charlotte next week. I'll be right there cheering for them. No, right there cheering for them. So you guys, like I said, if you want to be inspired throughout the week and watch how they come home, you know, this team, they don't have people they have to pay to drive for them and all. They have to do everything themselves. And to watch them come home, prepare for the next race, whatever adversity they face, how they go through it, it's an incredible testament to this young man's character, you know, his family, everything about what they do. It's just incredible. I can't say enough about them. And I love, you know, being a part of, even if it's, you know, 1/1000th of what they do. I just love being a part of it. So, you know that I put my money where my mouth is. You know, he has opportunities where fans can come in and be a part of it. You know, last year they wrecked the car in Atlanta, the first race of the year. His season was done, but fans stepped up and we helped sponsor him, helped get him back on track. And that's where you see all of these people stepped up and helped him. You can see there's my name right there. There's old Average Joe trading. So we get to ride around the truck with him. So, you know, being a part of something like this positive, is what keeps me going. Is what keeps me positive through all of the hits that I take. And in trading, you're going to take hits. And a lot of it's self-inflicted. But, you know, it's just a matter of having that never give up spirit. You know, that's what it's about. Never give up. And I'm going to keep my head held high. So you guys, if you like, even if you don't like racing, if you just want to be inspired, you know, follow this guy. Facebook and on Twitter. I'm not sure if he's on Instagram. I hadn't checked. But you know, I get my inspiration from a lot of places, and this is one of the main sources. So I just wanted to share that with you. Because that story, you know, all week, and then culminating watching him on track last night and running as well as he ran, it moved me. So I just had to share that with you. All right. So last week, I know I didn't do a recap on Thursday. I thought I would get back in time to be able to put my slides together for my journal. But I didn't. I didn't get back Thursday. But fortunately, I did take a snapshot of a couple of charts. And this one was the main one I wanted to share with you. Because this shows what can happen when fear of missing out creeps in. Now, this hasn't crept in for a while, but it comes at the most inopportune time and when you least expect it. And this was a product of the previous day, I believe, where the stocks I was watching didn't really give me a good entry for the opening range. They like ran, and I didn't get a chance to get in. So on this one, this is a clear case of me chasing and the fear of missing out. A clear case of it. There's no way I can deny what I did here. And I knew it as I was doing it. You know, which is funny. I was saying it out loud as I was doing it. So, you know, there are times where you know you're doing wrong, but you do it anyway. And, you know, I just messed up all the way around. If I was going to be aggressive, this is where I should have gotten in. And I should have been able to take profit through 19 and would have stopped out here at break even. Now, then that probably would have set me up to not take this trade, because this is not the setup. You know, here again. Okay, let's go back to this. Had I not, okay, so I didn't take it here. So the right thing to do was wait for it to put in its opening range low, which this was too low to take an opening range trade. So this should have been a done deal, dead trade, nothing. And I would have waited for this to pull back. I would have had to wait for this candle to close, and then this candle to open and trade lower, and then that would have triggered an entry. Well, it didn't do that. So I jumped in early again before this candle even closed and this candle even opened. So I dug myself a hole right out of the gate. And on top of that, to make matters worse, I held this too long. I should have been out right here, but I held it through 20, and just being dumb and stubborn, I ended up taking a little bit more of a loss than I needed to, about $60, $70 too much. But this really, you know, dug a deep hole. Now, the other stock I was looking at, Roku, this one was on my watch as well. But you can see what kind of this put in for opening range. You can see what this put in. So no way I could trade it here. I would have had to trade it off of the body up here, but the price action was just too bad. So once it started to settle down, I felt, okay, let me throw a position in here and just let it work. You know, because it did work. It did sell off up here like I would have liked EXEL to do, but it didn't. So we're coming down, coming down, coming down. And, you know, it looks like we were rejecting here. So I got it when we broke the low of this. We didn't quite make it to the 200 where I was going to take my first profit. It didn't make it. It bounced, came back, and I ended up stopping out. And this was a quick stop out because of the previous trade I was in. So this is a classic case of when your first trades, when you come out of the gate messed up, it creates a downward spiral and it causes you to do things that you really shouldn't be doing. And so once I got out of this, I had to take a deep breath. I had to get up and get some water, kind of put some water on my face, just kind of rethink about what's going on. I know this stock is coming in. You could look at it and tell. There's no doubt that this is trying to come in. So, you know, I got back, got in this, and this is, you know, a double hit because it didn't fill all at one time. It filled, and then I had to wait, and then, you know, it filled again. So I got the full position in, took it all off here at the 100. I mean, not all off. I took some off here at the 100, half off, and this split again. It only filled some of that position, and then finally it filled the rest, and then I got the rest of it down here at the red to green line. And, you know, that was it. I got out. When we didn't bounce and it looked like we were establishing below red to green, I got back in, you know, took some profit. I missed this here, so I ended up, you know, taking some out here and then getting stopped out back at break even. I got back in again, thinking that we're ready to roll over. And this was an ideal entry. This wasn't a bad entry. We just couldn't crack, you know, this level here. We just could not crack it. And you can see we kind of bounced off it once, twice, 3, 4 times. And, you know, I ended up having to stop out here. We ran back up to the 100. Then I got back in again, and these were small stop outs. I wasn't giving it much room at all, but here I had to cover some because we're getting close to 3:30. I'm in the car, and I couldn't wait till 3:30. I had to do it early because I wouldn't be in a position to do it. And, you know, here's just where that circumstance kind of cost me a little bit of money. It wasn't much, maybe a couple of dollars. But had I been able to wait until 3:30, I'd have been able to cover some here with some decent profit. And then here right at the close, you know, my order hit and took it off right at the close. But I was able to squeeze out 60, well, we'll see it in a minute, but it was around 60 bucks. That little over $60 that I was able to squeeze out of this today. You know, I took too huge of a loss on EXEL, but some decent trading here. You know, I was able to, you know, squeeze out a little bit of profit on it. And we'll see, last week was just, it was a struggle for me because being short biased, there was a lot of long opportunities and I didn't take them. So that kind of left me holding the bag. And then I missed some good short opportunities. So, you know, it was just a a stressful week for me in that respect. So Friday, I only got to take one snapshot, and this was the first trade I took. You guys know, if you're in chat, around close to 2:30 or a little bit after 2:30, we lost internet. I didn't get it back until like 11 o'clock today. Somebody ran over the junction box again. This is like the second time it's happened in, a year, maybe a year and a half. That the first time should have told them, with all the trouble they had putting everything back together, that they either needed to put some protection around it or move it. But somebody did it again, and kind of messed us up. So I didn't get to do my slides again Friday. It just was a frustrating end to the week. But luckily I took snapshots of the chart, which will allow me to see what I did right, what I did wrong, and what corrections I need to do. But this SYMC, we didn't get it on the opening range. It kind of sold off a little bit too hard. So I waited, was patient today. Got in and, got some small moves. I didn't like the price action here, so I just took it all off. And then I got in here and, covered half down at my first target through 19. And we just didn't get anything the rest of the day. I held on to it. There was nothing moving, nothing else worth me getting in. And I just didn't do anything with it. So held it through lunch. Ended up getting stopped out during lunch. And, that was kind of it for this trade. But I think I managed it as well as I could based on what it was giving me. And then if you were in the chat room, you saw I did get in WB. And it made a decent move down. It didn't make the move I wanted to. It got to 16. It didn't get to 15.50. But I was able to, pick up a couple dollars on it. I just took the whole position off. I had to go out in my car and use the OnStar Wi-Fi in order to get back on chat and let you guys know what had happened. I just didn't disappear on you. And kind of managed that position. But, did pretty good on it. Not the best of weeks. Like I said, you can see Monday was only $3.30. We didn't really have a decent trade then. Tuesday was an excellent day. I think I shortchanged myself Tuesday. Wednesday, I definitely shortchanged myself. I should have been in on... I can't remember the name of that stock. I can't remember it. But we took an all-day hold on it. I could have put 100 shares on it, and we would have made $300-400. But I didn't do it. I thought we were too far gone. Kind of overthought the situation, and thought myself out of a trade. When you saw Thursday, we kind of inched out $60. And Friday was just a pretty slow day. Really didn't have much. Now, I heard that the pharmacy stocks kind of went up and went down and got kind of crazy with the speech. I heard that was interesting, but I don't know if that would have offered any opportunity for me. So 532 for the week. That's not bad. And remember, even though my buying power has increased, I'm still only taking 1 to 300 shares. This is what I want you guys to see and understand, that just because you get green for the first time, you were green for a week or green for 2 weeks, that doesn't give you the green light to take off and just go crazy. You have to trade the same way for a period of time to where you get comfortable and you establish that base that you can always come back to. Because if you come back to this base, you know that at a minimum, you can make $100 a day, average, $500 a week. $500 a week is nothing to sneeze at, guys. I'm telling you. It's nothing to sneeze at. Because, let's see, minimum wage is what? Let's just say minimum wage is $8. And if you work 40 hours a week, that's only $320 a week if you work a minimum wage job. We're talking about making, $500 a week. If you just take one trade a day, or if you just end up averaging making $100 a day. Now, some days you're not going to make it. Some days you may be red. Some days you may be green. But if you average that, okay, let's say if you made $10 an hour, that's only $400 a week. Okay? I mean, you got to think of this thing in that context, because you're not going to be doing this all the time. Okay, you're not going to be doing this all the time. You're not going to be making these small gains all the time. Right now, you're establishing a base. And how neat is it to be able to be established in a base and you still make more than minimum wage, for a week? It's not bad. It's almost like you're getting paid to train. No, once you go live now, if you're in the simulator, no, it's not. That's not it. But once you go live, and this is what you're doing, it's pretty good. So just to remind you, in April we only made $193.84. You saw the struggles that we went through. And you guys that aren't in the community, you see these struggles every day happen live. The EXEL trade that I took, you guys, they were able to see that meltdown live and hear my thoughts as it happened. And those are the things that can help you not do the same things I do. And it's why I do that. It's not that I want to embarrass myself every day. It's that I want you guys to know what it's really like, and so that it can really help you get to that next level. So for the quarter, we're up 1484.23, which is an 82% growth. We're in this a month and a half. Struggle the first 3 weeks, and we're up we're up 82% on our small account, $1,484.23. So I've got a balance. Actually, the balance is like 33 something, because I get $1 a share rebate off the bat. So, but I'm not counting that in this. I'm counting exactly what you guys would be making, if you're paying the full rate. And so what I mean by full rate is, Suretrader has a fee scale where you'll pay anywhere from $195 per trade to $495 per trade. Most of the newer traders in the United States, you're going to be on that $495 schedule. And honestly, if you look at it compared to Thinkorswim or Fidelity or these other brokers, it's not that bad. But when you compare it to the discount brokers like IB and Speed Trader and Lightspeed, then yeah, it doesn't look very good. So, but either way, they do offer a wide range. Now, we're limited to what we can get in the United States, but I've been a customer of theirs for years. I am a proven professional trader in their eyes. So I get a break. And, you know, that's only fair. Now, can a brand new trader go in and ask him for a break? No. They're not going to do that. You know, this is something that I earned through, you know, my hard work and my dedication. And I'm trying to get to that 195 mark, you know, with them. For me, that's, you know, that's going to mark success. Does it mean I'm staying with them? No. You know, I've got my other accounts that I trade out of. So, but the thing is, as you grow your account, these are goals that you can have for yourself. You prove, you know, week in and week out, month in and month out, that you're a consistent trader. You're not one of these that are all over the place. Then you go to the table and you can negotiate with them. And you say, hey, look, I'm taking all of these trades. You know, look at what I'm doing. Look at my body of work. You know, can you guys help me out? And, you know, 9 times out of 10, they're going to help you out. So this is a good example here. I just went back and tried to find the first day that I only traded one stock. And ironically, it was Monday, where it didn't really, we didn't really do that well at all. But this gives you an idea of what this looks like. Now, if you're on the 495 schedule, I took 2 trades on CELG, commissions $9.90, and you know, once you take out all of that, it's $3.30. And after everything settles, you know, we go back through and everything settles at midnight. That's when the dollar rebate I get kicks in. And that's where you see here commissions on this is $3.95. Therefore, at the end of the day, instead of me only making $3.30, which is what you would have made if you were off the $4.95 commission schedule, I made $5.28, which is about $2 more. So, you know, that you can see where this comes into play. But I'm using this because this is more accurate for the average new trader as to what you're going to get. So I hope that makes sense. You know, I want this to be more realistic for you guys that are coming up. And it's just the way that they do it. You know, no matter what schedule you're on, they're going to factor it in because, you know, they already have some issues with, you know, how their software is working with DOS and how it calculates. So putting people on different schedules is probably going to make it even more complicated. So just doing it this way, and then when it clears, you know, putting you on whatever schedule you're going to be on, I think that makes the most sense to them. And so, but I just wanted to share that with you so you understand whenever I mention that, you know, it's not that I'm just blowing smoke. This is actually what, you know, what happens here. All right, so for all day holds, this is really slowed down. This week was terrible, but it was a bull week. Like I said, there weren't a lot of shorts that set up. My all day holds are shorts. I do not like all day holds that are longs. I may take one every blue moon, but on the flip side, my swing trades are all longs for the most part. And so now it's going to be time for me to make that shift to where I'm looking more for swing trades than all day holds. And that's where my focus is going to start moving going into the summer. So therefore, you guys, and I'm going to send an email out tomorrow, but you guys that are members that are interested in swing trading and you following it, just like the day trading, the new classes are going to start. Also, if you want to be on that email list where you get my watch list and my alerts every day of me entering and exiting trades, you know, make sure you email me and send me that. But I will send an email out to you guys tomorrow, because it's just for members. I'm a one-man band and I can't just send it out. You know, I got to work with the people who are already in the community. But I'm going to continue to have that page on the website where when I'm in a trade or when I exit, you know, that's going to be up there, and then I'll have the spreadsheet up there as well. So, but I am putting together, I have got the what I'm going to do for the email set up. So starting tomorrow, I'm going to send an email out so you guys can sign up, and then, you know, I'll email my watch list out at the beginning of the week. You know, what I'm looking for that week. Any entries and exits will be emailed as well. And then, you know, a detail of it will be posted on the website. All right, so you guys have a great weekend. I will see you tomorrow morning for those who are going to be here for our swing trade watch list. And then we will kind of move forward from that. All right, you guys take it easy, and I will see you next week.